Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Thursday, April 21st. And you can see with cloud covers and some precipitation, our temperatures are pretty uniform in the upper 40s to the low 50s, especially where the rain hasn't fallen. And we can take a wider look at that, and you can see temperatures again pretty uniform across much of lower Michigan into the eastern UP, with temperatures mainly in the upper 40s to low 50s as well. You can see our winds are coming out of the east and then southeast and then south just ahead of that low pressure system. And we're going to see a little break in the precipitation here later this morning, and that could develop enough instability where I think we could then develop some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon into tonight, and then we'll see conditions dry out for tomorrow, and that dry weather will last into Saturday. So it looks like a pretty nice day on Saturday with highs recovering back up to around 60 or so. If we look at the next map, you can see our normal highs for today is 61, the normal low is 37. If we look at the next slide, you can see the satellite view and notice the cloud cover precipitation, how it comes right to the Lake Michigan shoreline here, and that's going to continue to move off to the northeast. We're going to get into this dry area, dry slot area, and then as we get some heating of the atmosphere this afternoon, look for more showers and thunderstorms to develop across the area. And some of those could bring some briefly heavy rains as they do. But again, overall for this system, about a quarter to a half inch, and we've seen up to about 2/10 of an inch at Newaygo and around a tenth and a half across the Breckenridge, Middleton, Lansing area. If we look at the radar, you can see that precipitation as it moves across lower Michigan. And again, we'll get into this drier slot. Could still be a scattered shower here and there, but again, I think we'll dry out enough, and that's going to help us develop a little bit of instability later on this afternoon. If we look at the growing degree days by locations, you can see, and we'll have this every day, we're just now starting things out, but again, this site, this will also be available on our website, but it isn't right now, but we'll make that available each day. If we look at the next slide shot, this is the Breckenridge 20-year historical growing degree day chart through the season. And you can see very down here at the very bottom this year will be in white, and you can see it's kind of hard to determine, but we're right about in the middle of the pack. But until we get into May, especially once we get to about the 50% plant date, then we really start to paying attention. And we'll have some extra charts out for each of our locations, or at least the areas. We'll have one for Newaygo, one for Breckenridge, one for Brown City, and one for Blissfield, which covers our basic areas. If we look at the next shot, you can see from Syngenta some of the soil conditions this morning. 50 to 55 these were some of the maximums for yesterday, 60 to around 60 or so across much of southwest lower Michigan. We're going to see those cool, and you can see they have a 5-day forecast of what it's going to be like in 5 days. With all the clouds and cool temperatures, we're going to see soil temperatures drop back down into the upper 40s to low 50s in many areas of the northern portion of the lower peninsula, and far southern lower Michigan will be in them basically in the low to mid 50s across much of the MAC area. If we look at the forecast map for this morning, you can see a warm front trying to come into the area, and that could bring some thunderstorms, especially across the eastern locations of lower Michigan. But again, we're going to get into this dry slot, and that's what we'll have to watch out for, those thunderstorms to develop this afternoon. And by tomorrow, the cold front pushes through. It'll be a low near Toledo. That'll prolong some of the light rain across southeast lower Michigan, perhaps into the late morning or very early afternoon hours. But we should see rain in and clearing skies develop from northwest to southeast as the day goes on. And again, for Newaygo and Middleton, Lansing up towards Breckenridge, looks like we'll break into some sunshine during the mid to late afternoon hours. And then for Saturday, it looks like we'll be under high pressure across much of the area. We'll see temperatures moderate with that sunshine up to around or in the 60s. And this arrow I've got drawn here is going to basically be the storm track for the next coming week to 10 days. We're going to have a pretty cold high pressure system for this time of year be anchored between Hudson Bay and the Great Lakes, and that's going to force the storm track either right over southern lower Michigan or the Ohio Valley. And again, each one of these systems could bring a pretty good amount of rain. In fact, I would not be surprised to see 1 to 2 inches of rain over the next 7 days from about 3 systems that come through next week into next weekend. Again, if they move a little farther north, we get into warmer air and have a better chance for thunderstorms. If they move where they're at now, it looks like the heaviest rains will be across central and northern lower Michigan. And if it moves farther south, that would sink farther south as well. But right now, the bullseye of the heaviest precipitation looks like it's going to be over north central lower Michigan and northern Michigan, but we'll keep an eye on it. We're going to get plenty of rainfall even across southern lower Michigan one way or another. If we look at that forecasted 7-day precipitation amounts from the WPC, you can see inch and a half. We would not be surprised to see these numbers actually be forecasted higher here over the next couple of days. Not exactly sure where that heaviest band will be forecast, but I would not be surprised to see some 3-inch plus amounts here over the next 7 to 10 days across the areas just north of the storm track. These areas here farther to the south, this would represent a storm track that moves across southern lower Michigan, and these would be complexes of thunderstorms that would bring enhanced rainfall across parts of the Missouri and into the Ohio Valley. Thanks for stopping by and have a great day, and 73s to all.